everyone, Christian here for another edition of Strategy. Today I'm here with Justin Young. Justin, how's it going?
Pretty good, actually. I'm still in the main event here, so I'm feeling pretty good.
We're here at the main event at the Festal Lago at Bellagio, and for this edition of Strategy, I wanted to talk to you about keeping composure in a tournament when you lose a big hand. Maybe you're one of the chip leaders, you have a big stack, and you take a big hit. What's the first thing you're kind of thinking of to regain your footing?
The first thing I think about is where I actually am chip-wise. It helps settle me if I realize I still have 30 big blinds, 40, 50, whatever it is. And I can go back and gauge, like, if I really need to be freaked out or not. It doesn't really matter, like, where you start at or, like, it just matters, like, where you finish. And there's always going to be, like, dips and there's always going to be, like, peaks, like, throughout the day. So you don't really need to concern yourself with, some of the lower points.
If you're still above average, you're doing well, do you ever suggest maybe taking a couple hands off and maybe not playing in marginal situations and if you've just taken a big hit to your stack, or what do you think?
Of course, like it's easy to say you're not on tilt, but sometimes you force yourself to play pots when you just lost a big one because you feel the need to get it back. It's just be able to recognize those spots where it is a marginal situation where there might be some positive equity, but it's not the correct play since you're probably not thinking 100% clearly.
Is it hard not to have chip envy when someone gets lucky on you and you have to sit across from the chips that you should have had?
Oh, of course it is, but again, like, you just try to separate yourself from the situation as much as possible and just, like, put yourself in, like, okay, I have this many big blinds, or, like, I'm this far away from the money, or, like, whatever your goal is. You just need to focus on that and more concentrate on how other people are playing instead of, like, how many chips they have.
Okay, another question. If you lose a big pot and you're close to being crippled and really losing some fold equity because you've just taken a big hit, are you kind of in panic mode, or do you try and gain footing as quickly as possible, or do you still maybe want to just, because people might think you're on tilt and people might not give you the respect that you would have gotten had you been in that situation before just losing a big pot?
Again, I would like to think I'm not. I think those are the perfect scenarios where if you are patient, you are, like, fortunate enough to pick up a hand in a couple orbits, you're going to get paid off and you're going to get it in with the best of it. So those are the spots where, like, you can pretend you're stressed out or out of control or whatever, but, like, just really wait for the good spots to get your money in the pot.
What's the best comeback you've ever had? What's the lowest you've gotten and actually come back to do really well in a tournament?
Wow. I know I've been down to half a big blind before and came back to final table it. But it was in a smaller event. But the one back in December where I finished second, I actually had our starting stack, I think, was about 45,000 then. I think I was down under 15,000 after the first level. And it's not crippled by any means. It's still deep, but it's one of those spots where, like, everyone else has more chips than you and you feel, like, really short. And obviously I came back and did pretty well. So I like to at least think about that, where I just try to just focus on the positives.
And it's hard sometimes when you see everybody else with a big stack, but even though in relation to the blinds you're still okay, but it feels like there's a long way to go to fight back.
Exactly. Like, the more of these I play, the more I realize that it's such a long race that, having chip envy and, like, being jealous of your friends really isn't worth it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Justin. Chris here with Justin Young for Card Player TV.